A meth distribution trial set to begin this week in Scottsbluff County District Court. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. I'm glad to be back. In our top story tonight, a Bayard woman is set to stand trial this week on a trio of felony drug distribution charges following a series of controlled drug buys conducted by the Wing Drug Task Force. 42-year-old Misty Gutierrez was arrested in November on a warrant charging her with 2 Class 1D felony charges of distribution of meth less than 28 grams and a Class 2 felony charge of distribution of meth under 10 grams. Investigators say Gutierrez sold methamphetamine to cooperating individuals 3 times in 2021, twice in May, involving nearly 14 grams, and a third time in June with a weight of just under 7 grams. An April 20th trial date has been set, and if convicted, she could be facing a minimum prison sentence of at least 3 years. Well, Banner Health held an open house on Thursday evening, giving visitors the opportunity to see the improvements from a 6-year, $27 million upgrade project at Torrington Community Hospital. In an effort to improve and grow service lines, the project focused on expanding the hospital's footprint by adding 13,000 square feet. Banner TCH CEO Zach Miller told KNB News one of the big changes of improvement is the pre- and post-op areas.
We have state-of-the-art ORs, the highest technology that we would have anywhere in Banner's system throughout Phoenix, Colorado, or here in Wyoming. So we're bringing big care local. And then that expansion further allowed us to create more private and inviting areas for staff and for our patients. So when you come as a patient, you're able to receive your care in an area that feels very warm and conducive to that care to promote healing and to really reduce anxiety.
Also upgraded were imaging, support, and laboratories, with Miller saying a goal was improvement of relationships between healthcare workers and their patients and allowing area residents to receive more quality care locally. We'll have more news right after this.
Swipe right, swipe left, endlessly searching. Finding the perfect match isn't always perfect, but it can be when it comes to finances. Nora found the perfect business loan. Jenny opened her first savings account. Grammy loves her checking account. We found a match for Wilson Farms. The Sandersons were matched with a mortgage. Regardless of your financial situation, Platte Valley Bank will match you with the perfect solution. Find your match at Platte Valley Bank.
Culture trumps everything else.
In my years, I've never worked for a company that treats people the way this one does.
It is my passion for agriculture that brought me here in the first place, but not only that, there's a huge family-oriented atmosphere within the 21st Century Equipment.
I love working for 21st. They found something in me that I didn't know in myself. An intern to where I'm at now is such a great opportunity, and that is what this company is about.
Welcome back. A bill that would ban gender-altering surgeries and related medical treatments for minors in Nebraska is one step closer to final passage. But the advancement of LB 574 came on a promise by legislative leaders to find compromise between supporters and opponents of the bill before final passage. During debate, Glenville Senator Dave Merman said passage of the bill was about protecting children and giving them a fair shot at life.
I believe we need to prevent these kinds of surgeries or hormones, experimental hormones, from being given to children and allow them to mature. If they do desire that to be done after they mature, that's a different thing.
Omaha Senator Megan Hunt chastised supporters, saying just debating the issue has been harmful, as evidenced by a spike in calls to the suicide hotline when the bill received first-round approval.
Suicidality is reduced by accepting and affirming kids, by loving kids for who they are. Maybe puberty blockers isn't a part of that. Maybe hormone therapy isn't a part of that. We don't know. Maybe it is. But by voting for this bill, you aren't sending a message that you care about these kids. You're telling the kids that you reject them.
The consensus effort came after Speaker of the Legislature John Arch made the extraordinary move to suspend business on the floor for nearly an hour to hash out the agreement. Supporters were able to force an end to debate and advance the bill on an unaltered vote of 33 to 16. Well, the criminal case against a Gering man charged with 5 counts of sexual assault of a child has been dismissed. The trial for 37-year-old Jordan Long was scheduled to begin last Tuesday. However, Scottsbluff County District Court Judge Leo Dobrovony approved a late motion by the state to drop the charges and close the case. As both sides prepared for the trial last week, the prosecution filed an amended complaint reducing the charges from first-degree to third-degree sexual assault of a child, which dropped the felony level by 6 steps from 1B to 3A. 2 days later, the state filed a motion to drop the case entirely with prejudice, which was granted last Monday. And Sean Seiler, the current junior high principal at Gering Public Schools, will become the new GPS Activities Director next school year. Seiler has been with the district since 2009 and holds a Master's of Science in Educational Administration from Chadron State College. He says he's excited to lead the activities program and build upon Gering's family culture to make it a model of excellence in Nebraska.
To sum up the past 20 years in one word, exceptional. It's one of our core values. But our people have been truly exceptional. Our customer support has been exceptional. In 20 years, where will Allo be? When we started, we were just a business fiber company. Then the demand came from residential. Now the products of both business and residential just continue to expand. We've got to start with customers' needs and always work backwards. The customers will tell us, and our teammates will take us there.
This is KNEB.TV weather from the KNEB Storm Center, your trusted source for weather.
We're going to be dealing with partly cloudy skies as we go through the evening hours. And again, it's clear to partly cloudy overnight. Temperatures only falling down into the 40s. A very comfortable night tonight. Beautiful again tomorrow, although we'll have more clouds around. And then it's going to turn windy and cooler as we go Wednesday through most of the weekend. Only isolated precip chances. Should turn nicer again by Sunday. Yesterday, we hit 63, right about average for this time of year. Our low at 25, so a little cooler than normal. Nothing in the rain gauge yesterday. We're at 3100ths for the month. That's about a third of where we should be. And we're now in the hole for the year by about a quarter of an inch. And no additional snow out there. And hopefully we could put snow to bed. As we look at the month so far, we've had some very warm days out there. Certainly, the month of April has been warmer than March was here across the region. As you can see, 70s, 80s, even those record high 90s snuck in there. And another nice day today, temperatures into the 70s. As far as precip goes, had a little bit in here Friday, Saturday, about 2100ths and a tenth of an inch back on the 4th. But all in all, it's been pretty dry and only isolated precip chances. Not zero, but not much going on out there. As isolated chances at best. And winds are going to get pretty gusty as we go through tomorrow night, Wednesday, even into Thursday, Friday. Some breezy to windy conditions going to be prevalent out there. We do have a threat of thunderstorms back in our forecast as we look across the area. You can see some isolated storms. That's at best all that we're going to be dealing with. Isolated storms off and on in these areas. But we could see a marginal risk of severe storms tomorrow. from mainly the northern panhandle. That threat shifts further to the south and east and brings us a much better chance of seeing thunderstorms in areas like Lincoln and Omaha and up through central Iowa, where there is a slight risk of severe weather tomorrow and tomorrow night, primarily from the threat of large hail and some gusty winds. Temperatures very pleasant out here in the central part of the country today, 70s and 60s across most of the region. We're mostly in the 70s here in western Nebraska, eastern Wyoming, a few upper 60s snuck in there as well. And winds are light. We're looking at under 10 to 15 miles an hour, occasionally gusting up to 25 or so. Futurecast is pretty quiet tonight here across the region. We're not going to see much going on. And as we move into tomorrow, we could see Futurecast is a pause there for us, at least on the cloud cover. You can see some of the isolated showers that are going to form tomorrow here across the region. They'll be hit and miss, but isolated showers and storms. Can't rule out a strong one in northern portions of the region. And then as we go into Wednesday, things look like it's going to be a bit quieter until late in the afternoon and evening, and then again some more isolated activity in the south. Lows tonight only down around 40 or so. Highs tomorrow, very nice, 70s and a few low 80s snuck in there. And as far as precip goes, it's going to be pretty light, hit and miss, just a couple of hundredths for the most part, if people get any light shower or two. Partly cloudy tonight and a low down around 40, very pleasant. Tomorrow, cloudy. We're going to see winds increasing to breezy later on in the day, and 15 to 25 miles an hour, and some higher gusts will be in the upper 70s. We bring in windy conditions, cooler by Wednesday, highs in the 50s, down into the 40s by Friday, Saturday rebounding into the low 50s, then finally by Sunday, Monday of next week, upper 60s and back to near 70 again.
Now, sports from the FNBO Sports Desk. FNBO, the great big small bank.
Time to play a little catch-up here today for the Monday TV update. Early last week, it was a little drive over to Torrington where Gering senior Tayden Gorsuch was ready to sign to compete on the rodeo team there at EWC.
It feels really good and feels like I've really worked hard for this, and this is my dream to come to the next level in rodeo for WIT and for EWC.
Of course, a name known both locally and nationally to rodeo fans, Tayden, the son of two-time national steer wrestling champion Dean Gorsuch.
Of course, my dad really inspired me to do this, and WIT was a lot of help with this, and I feel like he's a really good coach and he can push me to be the best I can be, and I've loved how it just felt like home, and I loved the community.
Gorsuch mentioning EWC coach Whit Peterson there a couple of times as a big reason for choosing the Lancers program, and Peterson couldn't be more excited to have the younger generation Gorsuch come be part of his first full recruiting class.
Well, I've known the Gorsuch family for a while, and obviously the lineage has been great with Dean, so I was really excited when I got the opportunity to recruit Tayden and come here. He's an all-around athlete inside the arena and outside the arena, so you know that he's going to compete at a high level and always take it, give it 110%. So I know that he's a good kid and a good athlete and a really good bulldogger and team roper, so really excited about this one.
Gorsuch will focus on steer wrestling and team roping for EWC. Peterson mentioned the natural athletic traits for Gorsuch, who played football and wrestled in his time at Gering.
It's really meant a lot, and I just want to thank everybody in town, and I really want to thank my parents, and I especially want to thank Coach Jared Berger and my wrestling coach, and he's been a phenomenal person to me and really big mentor and just helped me a lot.
A family affair sent to continue for the Gorsuch family. Dean rodeoed at EWC, and then the storied professional career. Now Tayden Gorsuch sent to make a name for himself as he signs with the EWC rodeo team. WNCC action from the weekend on the diamond and actually creeping into early this week for the softball team as they've started 0-3 in their 5-game road set at NJC in Sterling. How about 42 combined hits and 13 combined errors for the two teams in that Game 1 win yesterday for NJC. Same two teams again today with a scheduled doubleheader. And for Cougar baseball, WNCC falling at home yesterday to the Plainsmen, NJC winning it 11-10. NJC scored all the early runs and able to hold off the Cougars' late charge over the final 4 frames. It'll be a 4th straight game for WNCC against their rivals when the two meet up tomorrow in Sterling for a single contest. That is the latest today from right here at the Sports Desk. I'm Chris Cottrell.
Well, let's take a look what's happening on today's community calendar. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. Community strong with the people you know and trust.
Fly United Airlines, operated by SkyWest with Western Nebraska Regional Airport. United is dedicated to going the extra mile for you with daily flights to and from Denver, along with a commitment to excellent service. Reserve your flight today, and remember, United miles can be earned and redeemed with your flights. While at the airport, stop and enjoy authentic Italian food at Roma Italian Restaurant. Plus, Hertz Thrifty Car Rental is there for your car rental needs. Make life easier, relax, and get on board with Western Nebraska Regional Airport.
At Platte Valley Bank, we want to help you plan for tomorrow while you enjoy today. Our personalized trust services can help you do just that. You've worked hard to build your legacy, and you want to make sure that gets passed on for generations to come. We offer the professional guidance necessary to ensure that happens, according to your wishes. We pride ourselves in being friendly and professional while offering a highly tailored full line of trust and estate planning services to accommodate you. You belong here.
The 58 men and women of the Nebraska's National Guard 1057th Military Police Team 2 are back home following an extended overseas deployment. Team members were welcomed with hugs, handshakes, kisses, and tears of joy as they reunited with loved ones before a welcome home ceremony held in a hangar at the Scottsbluff Airport on Thursday. Nebraska Guard Adjunct General Daryl Bohack congratulated the soldiers for a job well done, building on the previous work by the unit's Team 1.
Captain Hewitt, you and your team performed phenomenally well. There's no doubt in my mind as you left Camp Arif John, Kuwait, that there was some misty eyes from the remaining forces there by the way you performed and the way you delivered the mission day in and day out. And there's no doubt in my mind that you and your team did indeed perform as if Nebraska was emblazoned upon your chest each and every day.
Among the memorable reunions was that of Captain Hewitt, who held his new daughter in his arms for the very first time. The team was deployed for 9 months in U.S. Central Command's Theater of Operations based in Kuwait.